Pebble fans have been eager for more details on the Core 2 Duo and Core Time 2, and Eric Migicovsky has shared new information. He's answered questions, clarified features, and sparked some debate along the way. Some fans have even 3D printed mockups to get a better sense of what these watches will feel like. You can see them throughout this video. Core Time 2 versus Steel and Pebble 2 on the wrist. Now let's do a recap. As covered in my earlier video, the Core 2 Duo and Core Time 2 both run on Pebble OS, bringing back the experience that made Pebble popular. The Core 2 Duo is a refreshed version of the Pebble 2, keeping the same plastic body, black and white reflective LCD, and button-based navigation. The Core Time 2 takes inspiration from the unreleased Pebble Time 2, featuring a larger color display, a heart rate monitor, and a metal frame with upgraded buttons. Battery life is set at 30 days for both, and charging is handled by a classic Pebble connector, now with a USB-C end. Now, we've learned that these are the only two models planned. There won't be a Pebble Time style version, a round model, or any additional variations. Eric prefers the look of the old Pebble watches and wants to keep things straightforward. This also means some fancy features won't be included. There's no NFC for payments, no GPS, no offline Spotify, for example, and no wireless charging. But this isn't about cutting corners. Eric has made it clear that these watches are focused on essentials rather than competing with feature-packed smartwatches. The Core Time 2 does include a touchscreen, but it's meant for quick interactions, not full navigation. Button controls remain the primary way to use the watch, and there may even be an option to disable the touchscreen. One missing feature that some users might notice is call support. The watches won't support Bluetooth Classic, meaning phone calls aren't built in. The speaker is more for AI chatbot interactions than voice calls. Interestingly, the Core 2 Duo includes a barometer and a compass, while the Core Time 2 does not, even though it's the higher spec of the two devices. This wasn't a strategic decision. Eric says he simply added them as a favor to a friend. If you find them useful, that's a bonus, but they weren't part of the larger plan. For iPhone users, basic functionality like notifications and media playback control will work, but deeper integration may be limited due to Apple's restrictions. However, new EU regulations could lead to changes in the future. Pebble apps and watch faces will still be compatible. On the Core Time 2, some older apps might display with a border if they haven't been updated for a larger screen. Storage is set at 16 megabytes, small by today's standards, but in line with the old Pebble models. Durability has shown to be a concern, especially regarding the buttons. The original Pebble 2 had issues with buttons degrading over time. Eric has said the new switches have been reinforced, but he hasn't confirmed whether the material itself has changed. Given past issues, some users are skeptical. Now, these watches aren't really expected to last as long as the originals. While early Pebbles have been known to last nearly a decade, Eric has suggested that 5 years might be a more realistic expectation. Repairability is another limitation. The backs of these watches will be glued on, making them harder to fix, and there's no confirmation that spare parts will be available. Another point of discussion is the 30-day warranty. Yes, that's all you get, 30 days. Eric has been upfront about this. His company isn't structured for long-term customer support, and these watches aren't being marketed as mass-produced consumer devices. For buyers in the EU, this could be an issue since local laws often require local warranties. To bypass this, the company is operating as a China-based company, meaning EU buyers are considered importers and aren't covered by local protections. Pre-orders are open now on the Pebble website, but there's no guarantee these watches will be available after the initial batch sells out. A second production run isn't ruled out, but it's not certain. From all of this, it's clear. This isn't a mainstream smartwatch launch. It's a project aimed at Pebble fans who want a modernized version of what they loved. To me, this seems to be more akin to a Kickstarter or an Indiegogo project. Eric is creating these watches with a small team, more as a passion rather than a business venture. If that fits what you're looking for, then they might be worth considering.